And now it's time for the ridiculous.
What kinds of things make people piss?
And how many suitors exactly has she dismissed?
Siri, what are some locations for a lover's tryst?
Oh, darling, surely there must be a list.
A list?
A list?
A list?
A list?
You're telling me it's all here on this bleeding list? That's preposterous and ludicrous.
Well, actually, it's all quite
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.
Welcome to The Ridiculous. I'm Sally Brooks.
And I'm Jen O'Neill, and we are back with more ridiculous lists for you. Sorry about last week.
You want to tell them what happened, Jen? Again?
Well, I will take 30% of the responsibility for this.
I think that's about right.
The other 70% belongs to, sorry, Podbean, but Podbean for their layout of how you toggle in between. Like, we still have Dumb Love we still have our Dumb Love episodes out there. We still have and then we have our ridiculous page, and you toggle between the pages by pressing these two tabs. On the tabs, if you're not looking, on the tiny tab, they also have the garbage can icon that deletes the whole fucking thing.
The whole podcast.
There is like a quick little tiny thing, to be fair to Podbean, which they told me over and over again as I was arguing with them last week. There is like a thing that says, "Are you sure?" And it's like, in my mind, when I'm doing something real fast, do you want to go over to Dumb Love? Yes. Are you sure? Yeah. I'm not thinking delete.
Do you want to lose all your months of work?
Yeah. Like, I think there should be a bigger, are you sure? Are you sure you want to delete 20 plus episodes that Sally has worked really hard on editing, and it's going to be next to impossible to get it back? Do you want to do this? Are you sure? Not just like, why put the garbage can on that tab? It makes no sense to me. The other part of the blame goes to Louise, who was jumping all over me and hounding me about something. I can't remember what it was, but she wanted something, and I was like, give me just a second. And she was like,
toggling, Louise.
Yeah. And and so I was distracted, and I misread the "Are you sure?" question.
I know, and I was yes. So mad, wasn't I? So mad.
No. You laughed.
I laughed.
Like, whatever.
And like, it's funny. I mean, like, I was just like, oh yeah, I think it's gonna work out. It'll work out if it works out. If not, we'll figure something out. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I bet nobody even noticed. And my guess is that I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to a classic Dumb Love episode. Tell us what you think. We want to know, did you come to the Ridiculous from Dumb Love? Do we have anybody on the Ridiculous who wasn't a Dumb Love listener? And what did you think about it? We're curious.
Yeah. Both still exist,
Yep.
We're not putting out new Dumb Love episodes, but we're just saying, if like we still get a pretty good amount of listens, and if it's something people wanted, it's up for discussion, is what we're saying.
Up for discussion.
We will discussion.
In the next couple of weeks, we're going to put out a survey. We're kind of trying to like, just figure out what people like about the Ridiculous, what they liked about Dumb Love, what things you guys are here for, and just kind of, we've never really done that before. And we just want to get an idea of what our listeners like and don't like and are interested in. So stay tuned for that. That'll happen at some point in the next few episodes. We'll announce that. And we would really love your feedback. We welcome your feedback. Good, bad, indifferent. No, we just want the good. That's what we want.
Yeah, we don't want the bad.
We just want the good. Just be nice.
Don't tell me because it hurts. I don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. All right. Well, we're here this week. Should we get to our lists?
Let's do it. I think
Okay.
you're first this week.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So my list is a good old fashioned BuzzFeed
Okay.
listicle from Michaela Bramwell. And this is 22 people shared their funniest childhood memories and they're hilariously, not psychotic. They're hilariously chaotic. Wait, did you have the same
Okay.
list? Okay.
No. I was afraid we were going to have the same list because when this airs, it will be Valentine's Day. And I
Oh,
thought you
that's
would do
true.
a Valentine's Day list. And well, I'm doing a Valentine's Day list, but
I gotta be
clearly
honest.
we never discussed this.
Oh, is this our big Valentine's Day episode, Jen? And you forgot to tell me again? You just made it up in your mind and then you're
Yeah.
Sally will
It's
get
just
it.
like, yeah. At this point, I just feel like you read my mind, and that's on you for not.
You know what? So true. I will say that Valentine's Day sort of gets overlooked for us because Max's birthday is the 11th, and
Yeah.
it's like especially overlooked this year because he's been sick he's been very sick.
I
He was
know,
sick. He was
poor
sick all
baby.
weekend. We had to cancel his big birthday party. He's still homesick. He's had a fever for like
Poor
days.
thing.
I know. I'm like, don't get me sick. Don't get
You're
me
like,
sick.
over there.
I love you. Spray.
Aw.
No, but yeah. So I just didn't even clock that it's going to be Valentine's Day.
Aw. Well, I mean, it means nothing to me this year either. So actually, I'm going to be spending Valentine's Day hosting that Bravo trivia.
That's true. If you guys are
yeah.
listening
So
to this
that'll be
on the
fun.
14th, go to Bravo Trivia with Jen and I'm sorry, I don't know your friend's name.
Brooke Sprickman, who's also DJ Nina Linda, will be doing co-hosting Bravo trivia called Name 'em.
Name
For
'em.
anybody that knows Bravo knows what we're talking about when we say Name 'em.
And where is it
It's
at?
gonna be fun. It's at Thinking Man Tavern.
I love Thinking Man Tavern.
Yeah,
I
you
love
should
it.
come. It'll be really fun.
So
No
this is not a
worries.
Valentine's Day list. This is a list about funniest childhood memories. Okay. So when we were kids, my brother locked me in the closet and tried to suck out all the air with a straw,
Aww.
which is both sad and hilarious.
Oh my god, that's something
I
my
know that-
sister would have done.
I was
to
going to
me.
say, I know that you had like a very like contentious sibling
Oh
relationship.
yeah. Oh my god, we used to do the craziest shit to each other. Well, I would say my sister did the craziest shit to all of us, and then we all retaliated. So, I'd say that.
I think that that's probably, I mean, not necessarily typical, but like when you have 4 kids, it's going to be hard not to have like crazy personalities and like my brother Damien and I never had that really because we moved around a lot when we were kids. And so we were always each other's only friends. And then by the time so when we moved back to the States and moved back to Ohio and my adopted brother Keith came to live with us, like they're the same age and like they were already like in junior high. And so they were like, they always like looked out for me as a little sister, but we were kind of past the like really fighting stage.
Right.
So yeah, I just never had that. We just, we're just all so nice to each other.
That's awesome. We were all 2 years apart with the exception of Bobby, who is 10 years younger than me. So Bobby,
Bobby.
for the most part, baby Bobby got, he was the baby and we babied him. But, but us three older kids, it was just like, I don't know how my poor mom, like she used to, I remember she used to hostess at this Italian restaurant and we would just call because we knew she would answer the phone and every 5 seconds we would call like, Eileen did this, Tommy did this. My poor mom couldn't even like work without us driving her fucking crazy. But we've everything from throwing each other out of windows. Eileen's broken multiple bones of mine, running me over with a bicycle on purpose. Let's see, pretending to be a serial killer and calling from 7-Eleven while I was babysitting. What else? I was a thrower, meaning if I had to I got hurt or if somebody hurt me or whatever. And they were like my brother, for instance, would always like come and like slap me and then run. And he was so fast. So I would throw things and I at him.
Yeah.
And I have broken so many windows. I broke everything on the fire. The worst thing that I did, and I'll never forgive myself, is I picked up a candle holder just to do this, to scare him. He had slapped me with a Twizzler and it hurt really bad. And I picked up the candle holder on the table to go like this, and I didn't know it was 2 pieces. And the top part, it was a crystal glass holder, and the top part went flying off and hit my mother in the head, and she had to get stitches. Yeah.
Oh.
My poor mother.
Your poor mother.
I know. We were horrible children. Horrible. I don't know how I got blessed with like 2 kids that are like pretty awesome and are best friends.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, your
it doesn't
kids
make
aren't,
any
like,
sense.
Aren't sibling rival. I don't know. Maybe it's like the boy
they
girl.
love each other.
Yeah, the older brother, little sister. Because like me and my brothers were very. I mean, we're still close. Like,
yeah, I think if you get girl, 2 sisters, then like add another one into the mix, it's just gonna be a lot of triangulation and strangulation.
All the angulations. Okay, this next one says, I took a bite out of every cookie in the container and hid them around the house. My family was confused as to why there were half-eaten cookies under the couch cushions, and of course my dumbass tried to lie, saw right through me. Which is like, why didn't you just eat the whole cookie? Nobody's going to notice a cookie missing, but they are going to notice a cookie under a couch.
That's
eventually.
So funny.
Just one bite and then, oh God. I
always find little like fruit snack wrappers tucked into furniture all the time.
Same.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, is this a trash can? Is this a trash can? I remember there was like a couple times where Max, he still loves milk. He loves milk, and he used to always like, we would find like milk cups. Like all of a sudden it'd start smelling, and you would find like milk cups like under his like chair in his room. And
that's the worst smell.
The worst. Okay. I super glued my hand to my mom's hand because she didn't know I had just put on fake nails, and we both lost some skin on our fingers with that ordeal.
Aww.
Can you imagine like touching your kid's hand and then being like, oh no.
Oh God.
We're stuck with super glue. Oh my God, come on. Not me, but my boyfriend stole a bus from the school bus lot in middle school, drove it off the road. He took it for a joyride, ditched it somewhere wooded, and used a payphone to call the police to let them know where it was. He never got caught, nor did he do any damage to the bus somehow.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
How thrilling, though. You would be a legend in junior high.
Oh my God. I was
could
gonna
pull
say,
that off.
You know, me and my girlfriend did steal a car one time and crashed it on the side of the road. But
I'm sorry, what?
I've told you this story.
Maybe you did.
It was my friend's parents' car. Actually, I told this story on that episode of Dumb Love. I listened to it, episode 5 that we just posted. I told the story about when we stole her parents' car to go see the impotent sea snakes.
Oh,
we didn't even have driver's licenses, and we didn't make it to the show because we crashed the car. So wonder we're still alive.
Was she driving or was it you?
She drove. It was her parents' car. I was shotgun.
You were shotgun, just like with your cigarette out the window, like they'll never know. Yeah.
Get your leather skirts on, girls. We're going to the masquerade. Yeah. Oh my God.
We're seeing the impotent sea snakes. They're so cool. Wonder what they're up to now. Okay. My cousins, my sister, and I, ages 5 to 7, lit my grandmother's mattress on fire. Our great idea for putting out the fire was to try to carry the burning mattress over to the bathroom sink. Luckily, my uncle caught us. We could have burned down the whole building.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Can you imagine seeing like 5 to 7-year-olds like just like
Oh,
like holding a mattress that was on fire. Oh,
oh my
God,
God.
why little kleptos? Why? Okay. I was maybe 12 and we went to the movies with my parents. There was a poster for the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin. My dad turned 40 that year as well. Guess what? I yelled in the very busy movie theater, "Dad, that movie is about you."
Oh my God. This just reminds me of the story of my sister who had a baby young, not crazy young, but at 25.
Yeah.
You know, when she found out she was pregnant, like it was kind of a big deal telling the family and everything because, you know, she was not married, but
Mhm.
and everything's worked out great. Everything's fine. Beautiful, lovely. But at the time it was this big secret and nobody knew except my dad. And we went
Mm.
and watched that movie, Meet the Fockers, where it was like for like Christmas, the whole family went and watched it. And it was the whole thing where like the dad, everybody knew except Robert De Niro's character. And they
Yeah.
even had this like circle that was like circle of trust. Like everybody was outside of the circle of trust. And then when we got home, everybody was like, because we all knew except for him. And I remember like my brother like writing circle of trust and then putting dad on the outside of it and like tapped it up on the refrigerator. It was like, oh my God. He eventually found out and everything's great.
Everything's
But
great.
and everything's great, but it was just kind of that like really uncomfortable movie to watch at
Yeah.
that time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny. I remember
Yeah.
like when Max was little, he was probably like 3 at the time. And it was like he did it on purpose. Like he was like being funny. We were in this crowded coffee shop and I got up to go to the bathroom and he just leans back and he goes, "Hey mom, what are you going to poop?" and I was just like, "Shut up." And it was just like, I
Oh
mean,
my
it made
God.
me like, I laughed so hard and so did Ben because it's like, it was like, you know, it's just like he waited till I was like far enough away that everybody would hear it.
Yeah.
So
He's
great.
got that comedic timing from his
He
mother.
does. I love it. Okay. I used to make my mom mini vases for flowers out of the cat poop buried in our sandbox. In my defense, I thought it was clay.
Oh
She still has one of those cat shit crafts 35 years later.
Oh my God, did she keep it because it's funny? Or
I don't
did she keep it because she
know.
doesn't know?
I don't know.
Oh my God, that's so disgusting.
Oh, it's so disgusting. How could
Oh
you
God.
not? How could you not? Oh,
I don't know.
just cat shit.
Gross.
Ugh, okay. When at a doctor's appointment circa age 4, the nurse asked me if I needed to go at the beginning of the appointment. I knew that go in this situation meant go to the bathroom, and I replied, no, I did not. At the end of the visit, I announced that I did indeed have to go now. I was sent alone into the bathroom with a specimen container with the instructions to go in the container. Went
Oh
inside.
God, I already know.
I know, sorry. Went inside. I wondered something. I had to pee and poo, so I was unclear what they wanted. However, being a self-assured little tyke, I realized with greatest confidence that they could not possibly get any use out of some pee. So I decided right then to take a dump in this tiny jar. When I presented this turd barely contained in the small jar, the nurse started howling with laughter. In that moment, I realized I've chosen incorrectly, but nobody seemed mad, so I just laughed along. In between breaths, the nurse snorted, "How did you get that in there without touching the sides of the lid?" I had managed to do this without creating a mess, which made the whole thing even funnier.
Oh my God. That's only funny because he was a child. I swear there's a movie where like that's a joke in it. Is like that someone
They like
poops
go,
in-
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
my God, that's funny.
that's so funny. Okay, I'll just do a couple more. Okay, I once told my classmates that I wanted to be an animal pornographer. My QR teacher asking me to see her at break time. She and I finally learned that I meant to say wildlife photographer, but my brain got in the way.
Oh my God. Aw.
Um, At a wacky gift shop at age 7, I tried on and walked around in what I recognized as a Groucho glasses with a nose and a mustache. When I showed my older sister, she swiftly identified the nose as a penis and helped me take them off. How funny I must have looked to the other customers.
Oh my god.
Oh, so great. I love the
I'm
thought
trying
of
to
just a 7-year-old
that.
walking around with like a penis nose, not knowing, being like, look at me, look, thinking like I'm hilarious.
Oh my god. That
I'm
is
also trying to imagine
scarring.
a store with a like that
So
has
it's penis on glasses?
my guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
You don't have
probably
those?
like what is it? What was the store? Spencer
Oh, a Spencer's gift. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like that's where I learned all sorts of dirty things. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh my god. That was the store where you like walked around and like kind of yeah. You found there was the guy that mooned people.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that you put on there were
So many
dirty
dirty
posters,
t-shirts. Yeah.
t-shirts. Do you remember those like was it Stussy or what was a t-shirt company that used to make all the like pussy and it would be like a cat or
Oh,
or
yeah. I
like
don't remember
cock
that company, but
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And kids would wear it. Like in middle
Yes.
school, people would wear those t-shirts to school and like that was okay. It was the craziest thing.
Oh my God. I just saw like I don't know, Instagram post or something, but it was all like kids in other countries wearing English t-shirts that are like completely inappropriate. It was like the
Inappropriate.
funniest things. Like it's like a little 2-year-old toddler wearing a t-shirt that says like suck my dick. And they're just like so amazing because it's like obviously you don't know what that, like they probably whoever bought it didn't speak English.
Yeah.
It just looks like a cool writing, it's like who knows what those like Chinese characters say.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, my list this week, as stated before, will be Valentine's list.
For
To
our big
come.
Valentine's episode.
Yes. It's a real womp womp of a Valentine's episode, but that's on me. That's my fault. But this is an article for BuzzFeed, a listicle for BuzzFeed, and it's by Emily Morgan, and it's 15 Valentine's Day date horror stories that will make you glad you're single.
All right.
Which is
I love a date
just what
horror
I need
story.
this Valentine's.
You're like, see? See?
This is great.
This is why I'm doing trivia.
Exactly. This says, this one says, we went out for dinner. She leaned in to kiss me and her hair got caught in the candle. She didn't realize and proceeded to spread the fire to my very nice dress shirt. She then blamed it on me, never saw her again. I'm a little bit like, that's a little rude of you to give a shit about your fucking shirt when her hair's on fire.
Was on fire.
And then for you to say, Million Leo 04 is his name, for you to say, then she blamed it on me. She was probably pissed because you were more concerned with your shirt than the fact that she was on fire. So I don't feel bad for this guy. He thinks she's the bad one. He's the bad one.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like, yeah. So his hair was on fire. I one time was at a show where I was on stage and I could see it was like at a comedy club where they had, it was like a big comedy club and they had like tiers, right, of different seating levels. And like in the second level, I could see, and they all had candles on the table, and I could see all of a sudden somebody's like shirt or something get set on fire and like go up in flame. I mean, you could just see the flames going up, and I was like, oh my God, because nobody else, I mean, the people sitting there obviously knew what was happening, but like nobody in the audience could see it. And I was like, oh my God, there's a fire, like as I'm on stage, because I could see it go up. It was
oh my
nuts.
God. Hair goes
were
up
fine.
like that too. Thank God.
They were fine.
It's funny, that story, just the like how he blamed it on her and he's acting like this is a like she was so terrible to him thing. I
Yeah.
just saw this TikTok that was like black flag, red flag, and
Uh-huh.
it said, and it was a video of one of those baby gender reveal things,
Yeah.
and it was about this guy that was like holding the gender reveal balloons, and then you're supposed to pop it to know what the gender was, and he let go of the balloon and it flew away, and the wife was like upset and was like, oh my god, you just let it go, like I can't believe you just let it go or whatever.
Yeah.
And then his friends come out with the new balloon, and she like started crying, she was upset, and then his friends come out with the new balloon and was like, gotcha, just kidding. And like the and then I was reading through it because I was like, I'm confused by what I'm watching here. And
Right.
like I'm watching, and then I'm like reading the comments, and they're like, and it was meant to be that she was the red flag because she yelled at him and then like and then when they brought the new balloon, then she was all happy again, like oh ha, ha, and like kissing her husband. It's like, no dude, you're the red flag.
You're the
That's
red
not
flag.
fucking cool to like. I hate that, and we've talked about that on this podcast multiple times, but I hate when people prank you or play jokes on you or tricks on you and then make fun of you for your perfectly normal reaction to a thing that they just did to you.
Yes,
Like,
where they like are setting you up to be. It's like they
to
want
look
to trick you,
stupid.
and then
Yeah.
they get mad. They like are like making you feel stupid for being tricked. It's like, but you tricked me on purpose. You did that on purpose.
Yes.
Like, why am I the asshole for like trusting you?
And all your friends are in on it, and it's like, this is your gender reveal thing, and it's like, this is just supposed to be a nice moment between you and your family, and you have to make it about you pranking
Yeah.
your wife. Like, you're the red flag, dude.
Were they
Ugh.
young? Were they young?
No, I would say they were probably like in their 30s.
What?
Yeah. I know.
Asshole. Get rid
Yeah.
of him.
Did.
Take his baby and go.
I hope. Okay, this one says, I'd been seeing, the guy I'd been seeing gave me black and dead roses, saying that's how he saw our relationship, dead. That's
Cool.
a pretty dramatique. I would just break up with the person.
Yeah, just say like, hey, I'm not into you anymore. Like, well, you don't have to. I mean,
I
that's a lot of
know.
effort
That is a
for
lot of
someone you
effort.
apparently don't care about.
I know. This one says, I'd been dating my boyfriend for almost a year. His mom hated me because he was her little boy. On the way to the restaurant, my boyfriend decided to turn around so he could take his freaking parents with us. Things were never the same after our surprise double date. Ugh.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's about it.
Like, I have no problem with somebody who has a really strong relationship with their parents, but it's just so weird to me when like parents come in between their kids' relationships. Like,
I
that
know.
is so weird.
Ugh,
Unless
so-
it's like, oh, somebody's being like, they're mean or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like if there's safety reasons, okay.
yeah.
Like, otherwise, it's just kind of gross.
It is
Live your own
gross.
life.
This one says, this is awful. This says, my date actually bought me a whole outfit for Valentine's Day, which is nice. But lo and behold, my brand new white dress got ruined by Aunt Flo. He saw the mark forming and in front of everyone around us said, really, Haley? How childish. You couldn't have held it in. Guys are jerks. Oh my God. Do you know how bodies work?
Men are so
God.
dumb when it
They
comes
really
to periods.
are.
They're such fucking babies. It's
I
like-
know. And it doesn't matter how old they are, they're still like, oh, like if you say
Yeah.
tampon. It's ridiculous. This says, my then boyfriend surprised me with a gift, and it ended up being a shirt of mine that I had left at his place. What? That sounds like a breakup gift.
Yeah.
Like he's like, take this home with you.
Right. I don't want this at my house anymore.
Yeah. During my freshman year of college, I was hopelessly in love with my best friend. On Valentine's Day, he asked me out to lunch. We were together for an hour and a half before he revealed to me that he actually had a girlfriend and that she'd really love me. Can I tell you that happened to me?
What? Oh no.
And can I tell you I ended up marrying him?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah.
The reason why certain things happen the way they did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like we went out to dinner as we always did because we hung out like every single day. And then he was like, his whole thing was that he'd like, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a girlfriend. I want to hang out with you every single day, every day. And, you know, we'll hook up and stuff, but I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a girlfriend.
my
And then
girlfriend.
one day we went out to dinner and he was like, hey, I have a girlfriend and I really want you to meet her because I think you'd be friends with her. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I did. I went to the dinner and I met his girlfriend. I was very young and stupid, let's say that. Okay.
Jen.
Anyways, I know.
Jen.
I know.
Jen.
I know. This one says, on the way to the restaurant, he was telling me how he cracked his phone screen. And when I glanced at his phone, I realized that the background was a picture of me after only knowing him a week. Wow.
No, I
That's
didn't. I don't
crazy.
like that.
Yeah. And that's funny because I have to say that that's how I knew that my ex-husband, how I was like, you definitely like me because I'm on your screen. And I remember like, because I was always like, I guess we're just friends. I guess we're just friends. I guess we're. And then one day I saw him open his phone and I was his screensaver. And I was like,
Yeah.
you definitely fucking like me. You can't lie anymore. I know it. And he was like, I do. Anyway, this says, once in high school, I was asked out on Valentine's Day with a big teddy bear and roses, the whole shebang. However, I had nausea that morning and threw up all over the guy and the gifts. Oops. Ooh. That is terrible. That is a bad Valentine's. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'll read a couple more. We were having dinner at a restaurant and he suddenly jumped up and ran to the bathroom. After about 45 minutes, I got worried and went to check on him. As it turned out, the guy who went into the bathroom before him was his dealer and they were in there getting high. This was not only Valentine's Day, but our first date.
No.
I hope that was your last date.
I heard it in
Oh,
in high
God.
school. So Aaron, Dr. Dudefuck, and I like we really wanted to go to a dance, like go together, right? Like we've not the two of us, but like with our dates, and like we just never were dating guys who were friends or, you know, never went. And so our senior year, we were like, we're gonna ask to the like Sadie Hawkins dance. So like where the girls asked the guy, we're like, we're gonna ask these two guys who we know are best friends, even though like I was kind of dating one of the one guy, and then the other guy we like barely knew. But so Aaron was like, all right, I'll ask him, I don't care. And so we go to this dance and these two guys are just like, could not have been more stoned. Like we go to dinner and they were like the highest I've ever seen people. And we were just like sitting there at this dinner, like, was this worth it? Was it worth
Oh,
it?
God.
Like, was it? Like I could not even, it was like being, we're like, well, we still had fun because it was just the two of us, but it was like they were not even there. These two.
Yeah, like you might as well have been alone.
Yeah, we're like, we should have
Oh,
just gone by
God.
ourselves. These two ding dongs. Oh my God.
I've always found that double dates with guys that are friends is never a good idea.
Yeah.
Not like if
yeah.
you're already like in a relationship with
Right,
that
right.
person,
Not
but
like
I mean
couple
like if you're
friends,
like
but-
dating, yeah.
Yes.
It's like two dudes duding together on a date. It's just never a good thing.
No, this was like that plus so much weed. So much weed.
God.
And of course, like we had to drive because they were so fucking stoned.
Oh, God.
It was awful. It's
At least
awful.
you had each other, and you
At least
still
we had
do.
each other. We
Yeah.
still do. Yeah. I wonder where those guys are.
Thinking about you guys.
Probably.
Remember those two girls? They were pretty great.
They're
They
great.
drove us
What were
home.
you? They came to the after party with us and just watched us because
Yeah.
we
God.
just kept getting stoned.
It's the best when girls just watch you, you know? You don't have to
Play-
say anything or do anything.
Watch you play Mario Kart.
Yeah. Legend of
Super
Zelda,
high.
like all day. This says, at my high school, students could send Valentine's Day candygrams to each other, and my long distance boyfriend somehow arranged to send me some. But a few days before the 14th, he broke up with me for another girl. Come Valentine's Day, I received candygrams every hour for him, telling me how much he loved me and he couldn't wait to see me again. Oh, I guess
that's
they were
awful.
pre-ordered.
Yeah. Like just a slap in the
That's the
face every
worst.
time.
Yeah.
Awful.
This says, this guy asked me out for a few times and I said no every time, but I decided to give him a shot for Valentine's Day. I got in his car and he drove me to Quick Check, picture 7-Eleven and Subway combined, it says. He paid for only his sandwich and then he dropped me off at my dorm. The whole excursion was 15 minutes. I had no problem saying no when he asked me out again. Oh God, that's the worst. That's the worst when they're so persistent and like your body's telling you no, your heart's telling you no, your brain's telling you no, and then you give in and that's what you get. Oh man. This says, this guy I was dating gave me 6 roses for Valentine's Day. I thought it was weird to only get 6 roses, but because they were usually bought as a dozen. Turns out he'd actually bought a dozen roses and given the 6 other roses to 6 other girls.
Yeah, that sounds well. I mean, at least you got the most. I mean,
you got the most. Yeah.
Not great. Not great.
All right, 2 more. I'd been dating this guy and was really falling for him. He said he wanted to plan everything for a Valentine's Day date. He loved astronomy, so he picked a spot and brought a small telescope and showed me all of the constellations. I was on cloud 9. I changed into something sexy and invited him in. Well, that outside? Okay, I changed into something sexy and invited him in. He got undressed, got in bed, and then told me he couldn't do this anymore. He basically got undressed to break up with me. He said that I deserved a really nice Valentine's date before he did it. What the heck? All right, last one. I went out with this guy I had seen a few times before. He surprised me by bringing a box of chocolates. He knew I had a severe tree nut allergy, but the box didn't have one of those guides in it. So we made a joke of it where he'd eat a piece of it, and if it was nut-free, I'd finish it. Well, there was one chocolate that definitely had nuts in it because I immediately started swelling. I couldn't breathe, see, or hear. Luckily, we made it to the hospital in time and everything was fine. That is a Russian roulette you should not play.
Yeah,
that's on both of you. Yeah. Oh my God. What the hell? If my child did that and was like, well, he tried to first, I would like, oh my God. That is no joke.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Ding-dongs.
So that's 15 terrible Valentine's Day dates.
I love it. Those
Yeah.
are great. I mean, so much more interesting than like, we went out and it was so nice.
I know.
Like, no, nobody wants to hear about that shit. All right, should we get to our top 5?
Let's do it. So this week, our top 5 is, I thought of this idea because there was some debate amongst my friends with the movie Saltburn. I personally loved it.
Okay.
Did you watch Saltburn?
No.
Okay. I personally loved it. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people said it made them feel really weird. There's some interesting scenes.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that didn't make me feel weird, that movie, but then I started thinking about some other movies that sat with me in a weird way. And now they could my list, I don't know how you interpreted it, but my list is like weird, meaning like some made me feel this kind of way and some made me feel this kind of way, but weird.
Yeah. No,
No,
mine is the same. Mine's kind of like a mix of like movies I liked, but then I'm like, or yeah. It's a mix.
Cool. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. So my first movie on the list is Love Actually.
Okay.
You know the scene where the guy is like giving the cards to Keira Knightley. He's like the best friend's friend.
Yeah. Which is wrong.
Her husband's best friend. And he's like telling her he loves her. And it's like supposed to be very romantic. And it's just really uncomfortable and kind of, I love that movie. I know it's like cheesy and whatever, but I think it is such like a fun, I love that movie. But that part ruins it. It's so,
I know. I
it's so
agree.
weird. It's such a weird choice.
I
don't like
totally
it.
agree. And whoever like wrote the movie and like put that scene
Yeah.
in there, it's just you really have to question that person's like morals and ethics.
Agreed.
That it's like it would be considered romantic to tell your best friend's new wife that you're secretly in love with her on Christmas. Like,
and to be like, now you sit with that and you have to keep that from your new husband. And every time we see each other, it's going to be real fucking weird. Yeah.
I know. I totally agree with you. Okay. My number 5 is, I love this movie. I love it so much. It's such a great movie, but it is especially the last scene of the movie will just sit with you for, like it sat with me for like weeks when I first saw it, but Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
so
I mean,
good.
that's like yeah.
But it's
feel
so
like that
dark.
is-
And at the end, it's so viciously dark and depressing. And it just rips your heart out. And it just makes you feel so gross.
Yeah.
And unsettled for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that's a very unsettling movie.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 4 is also like a notoriously unsettling movie. And I'm wondering if you saw it in the same time frame that I did, but it's Kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, I don't know if that is something that people watched past that like one moment in time, but I just remember seeing it and being like, oh my God, like everything about it was so real and so fucked up. And I was like, I don't ever need to see this again. I'm glad I watched it, but I don't ever need to see this again. And then I also remember like the mall where those like the kids, they like, where they discovered a lot of those kids who they like worked. It was like the Cherry Hill Mall in New Jersey was right by where I worked at a summer camp. And so we I like tried to go to the mall to see if they were still working there. They weren't, but.
Oh, really? I didn't know that there was like a specific, I thought it was just like kids in New York, but not,
I think
I didn't know it was like
the actors, like a lot of them were not actors when they were just like skaters and like friends of the directors. And so they all like worked or lived in like Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which was like really near the summer camp. I don't know why I remember that. It was like came out that year, but yeah, it's a fucked up movie.
It is a fucked up movie. I actually almost put Kids or like Gummo on.
I never saw that.
But okay. Gummo's pretty. Yeah. Okay. My number 4 is, it made me feel weird in a different way. In a way of like, what is this feeling? And who is this guy? And why am I in love? Was Gleaming the Cube with Christian Slater. That was my like first big crush. I was like, oh my God. And he has an earring. He skateboards and he has an earring. He's the fucking coolest. He was just like, I loved him so much. And I like that movie was just like, I could not stop watching it. I was so in love with him.
I loved Christian Slater, but from Newsies.
Christian Slater was in Newsies?
No, not Christian Slater.
Oh, you're thinking of Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale in Newsies. He was hot in Newsies too. I loved all of the Newsies.
Christian Slater in not Heathers.
Pump Up the Volume.
Pump Up the Volume.
That
oh my
too,
God.
yeah.
I was like, oh, who is he?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sexual Awakening. So fun.
I know. It was.
Why do I feel like this? Okay, so my number 3, and this is it was the first movie that like really made me feel scared, and it's so fun. It was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The like Large Marge.
Yeah, that's pretty scary for sure.
Yeah, it was like, and it was one of those things where like you didn't know it was coming, and then all of a sudden it was like this silly movie, and then there was this like horror part to it. And I never forgot it.
My number 3 is Sophie's Choice. I was a child staying home sick from school.
My mother, my dad. Was that Sophie's
And it was
Choice,
like
or was that Chinatown?
No, Sophie's Choice was between her daughter and her son. She had to choose.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I was like, I was sick and it was on TV and I watched it and I was like, what? Like as a young child, like what? That was just not a movie that I should have watched. I remember being
No.
so fucked up from it for a long time. Yeah. I was definitely not old enough to wrap my head around any of that.
Yeah. Ben said that when he was a kid, like his family always did movie nights and it was like when you would go to Blockbuster, you didn't really know what movies were about, but he was probably like 6 or 7 and his parents rented Fatal Attraction.
Oh my God. Aw.
Okay, so number 2, and I just saw this because I recently saw it and was like, this is such a weird fucking movie, like for kids, is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, like I know the scene with the boat going through the canal and the chickens and like that whole like fast cut.
Well, and just like
that
even
was so fucked up.
Like the way that like the kids are like bad, and it just is. It's like a weird, the way that he acts towards kids is not like really joyful in any way.
Yeah.
He's just weird. And it's like, what? Everybody loved that movie so much and still loves it, but it is unsettling. It is a weird movie. It makes me feel weird.
I did just see the new Wonka movie though, and
I
we
did
all
too.
loved it. It was great, yeah.
But see, that's a very different
he's
Wonka, right?
It's very different, yeah.
Yes, he's a
so
very
sweet
positive, sweet.
and-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I really liked it.
The other one is like a torture chamber for children. It's just weird. Yeah. My next one is, and I stopped it. I couldn't watch more of it. My friend Jill is like such an enigma to me because she is like the sweetest pie, like warmest like person, an educator and just like lovely and patient and kind. But she loves a horror movie and the more fucked up, the better. And it's so weird to me. But she told me about this movie, Funny Games. Have you ever seen Funny Games?
No, I don't like horror movies.
Man. So like I turned it on because she watched it and she told me how fucked up it was. And I watched like half of it and I had to shut it off. But it's like with Naomi Watts and Michael, who is that other guy? And he's really hot, the guy that's in it, but he plays like somebody torturing a family. Michael Pitt, is that his name? Tim Roth, Naomi Watts, Michael Pitt. So great cast. But the whole premise is like these people are at their vacation home and then these two guys like come in and hold the whole family hostage and then torture them in front of each other. It's so fucked. Cool. Yeah. So I couldn't. So don't watch it, guys. Don't. Do not.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 1, and this is just like completely left turn from that, is okay. You know the movie The Holiday with is it Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz?
Jesus Christ! No, it's Kate Winslet and
Kate Winslet.
You're the worst. You're like my mom.
I'm like, is it Kate? Kate, what's her butt?
Have you ever seen this SNL sketch of like the mom? It's like a mom. What's the word I'm looking for? Like decoder, basically. A mom translator. It's like, what's that girl's name? It's like Katie Kardashian, and they're like Kim Kardashian mom or whatever. And it's like, what's that one guy from Jake? Like, it's so funny. I highly recommend the sketch, but it's basically like, it's so relatable because it's like every mom mispronounces.
That's me. I'm like 100% that person. Every time we're watching a TV show, I'm like saying to Ben, where do I know that girl from? Where's she from? What did we see her in? Every time. And he's like,
I know her.
How do I know her?
Does she shop at the Kroger's on Sundays? Have you seen her?
Is she friends with your Aunt Ellen? Is that how we know that gal? So there, it's a delightful movie, right? It's a delightful rom-com, but there is just this scene at the very end, where like Jude Law is doing this little dance, and it's supposed to be sexy. Like he's like doing a like, hey, and it for some
not.
reason
It's, like, cringy.
it's so cringy, and it makes me
Oh.
so uncomfortable, like to the point where I'm like, oh, and every time I see it, I can't like. I just am like, oh, it's like it just something in it. I'm like, it's such a turn off to me, and it makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So the anti-Christian Slater is
The
Jude
anti,
Law.
yes.
He made you
It's like
feel-
the
your feelings went back up in you.
yeah. Yep. It was like my balls in a cold water.
yeah. No. Oh man. Okay, my final most fucked up movie that like I don't know if anybody's seen. I know people have seen it because it was popular in 1998 and it has like a
Mhm.
very famous cast. But
Yeah.
have you ever seen the movie Happiness? It's a dark comedy.
No, I have. Is it a? It's not a cartoon, is it?
No, but the title screen like on the video is cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it. I know what you're talking
It's
about. I
got
can
like
picture
Philip
it.
Seymour Hoffman, Lara Flynn Boyle, John Lovitz. So it's got a really great cast, but it is so dark. It's like pitch black dark. It's like
Yeah.
it's the most dark comedy. I don't even know how you call this a comedy, to be honest with you. It centers a lot. Like one of the main storylines is like around pedophilia, and it's just like, ugh. Like it's just like one of the most disturbing movies I think I've ever seen. But I think
Yeah.
it's even more disturbing that it's meant to be funny. You know?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the part that's so weird. But again, don't watch it, guys. I'm telling you about it, but you don't have to go watch it.
Jen watches.
You have
so you don't
choices.
have to.
You have choices.
That's right.
Just saying.
Did you know that you could rewatch Great British Baking again?
You could.
Did you know that there is like 6 seasons of the Great Pottery Throwdown? Come on.
Do you know that literally like every Pixar movie is available to you on Disney Plus right now?
You don't
Just
have
do
to feel
that.
weird.
You don't have to.
All right. Well, you guys, that's our episode. Get in touch with us. We're on Instagram. We're at The Ridiculous Pod. We're on
Just say
TikTok
that like
at The
you're
Ridiculous.
British. Are we on
Did I?
Instagram?
We're
Are
on
we on
Instagram.
Are we on the rumors and the nastiness? That is Housewives saying. See you at trivia. The rumors and the nastiness.
The rumors are
And
we're
that-
on Instagram.
Instagram.
At The Ridiculous Pod. We are on TikTok. I don't know. I don't think you can
Fine.
say TikTok with a TikTok.
TikTok.
At The Ridiculous Podcast. You can email us. You could rate and review the podcast. We would really, really appreciate that. Tell a friend about The Ridiculous. We would love that.
We would love all of those things. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for telling all your friends about us. And we'll be back next week with more lists.
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridic. You.